What is up, Rafaelitos? Welcome back to my channel. We're here at Eccles. This is the Eccles interchange. The roundabout at Eccles. That's the famous Jaguar standing in the center of the traffic circle and the reflecting pool here at Eccles. And the direction we're looking at is south. We're looking south along Heroes Highway. That's the traffic. Now I'll remind you that it's 7 a.m. It's about 6:45 in the morning. Right, almost 7 o'clock in the morning. This is the traffic heading into Georgetown, 7 a.m. The reason why we're back at this intersection is because since we've been here, this is the last time we were here, they opened the East Coast Bypass Road. Now that is the highway, the new highway to Bagotstown. This one is the Heroes Highway looking north towards Georgetown. At the end of this stretch of Heroes Highway is the traffic circle with an eagle in the center of it, well, maybe a carrion crow, at South Roosevelt Gardens. And this is why we're here. This is the new road, the East Coast Bypass Road that has recently been opened. This is the road that goes all the way to Ogle, goes past Ogle Airport, and then meets up with the Rupert Craig Highway at Ogle and Corridor Park and good for Wacton and so on. So this traffic is new. This is the first, well, it's the second day or the third day the traffic is using this road. And the reason why we're at this intersection to start, because we want to take a look at the road after they've opened it. I don't know that it's been completed, but it's now open. And what you're seeing is cars coming off of Heroes Highway and heading towards the East Coast via this bypass. And we want to look at how they're negotiating this traffic circle. I'll remind you what I said is that this traffic circle is best if it is a overpass. But this is what is happening here. So what you have is trucks heading towards Heroes Highway, heading south on Heroes Highway, then needing to turn, and cars now needing to turn around this traffic circle to the east. And cars normally heading north have to wait, right? They now have to wait to get into this intersection. Notice the motorcycle didn't stop. But what's supposed to happen is these cars that come to this intersection, to the traffic circle, must wait for vehicles in the traffic circle to exit the circle, or to at least pass them before they enter the circle. And what we're having here is confusion. Now the reason why this is a very, very bad solution to this problem is because vehicles in the traffic circle have priority. And once the traffic circle is filled, especially with traffic coming from the south to the north, then it's difficult for other vehicles to enter the traffic circle. And so you get people breaking the law by simply not stopping. That is going to be the source of many accidents. Now the way they've solved this with other traffic circles in the country is they put policemen here to monitor and to direct traffic at the traffic circle. And this is not even rush hour, right? Rush hour is an hour away. 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock is rush hour. We're here at 7, before 7. But this is what is happening here at the Eccles interchange. And we're here just to see what happens when you open all the roads at this interchange. So far, only 2 of the roads at this interchange were open. That is the Heroes Highway and that highway to Bagotstown. Now all 4 roads are open, and we are actually seeing for the first time what happens, how this interchange works when all 4 roads are open. The other thing we want to do in this video is to take a look at the new government building that is being constructed at, gonna cross now onto the East Coast Bypass Road. They haven't given it a name yet, so I don't know what it's going to be called, but I'm calling it now the East Coast Bypass Road. So let's take a look at the East Coast Bypass Road. Now this end of the road was completed a long time, so this is not the newest part of the East Coast Bypass Road. Right, this is not the newest part of the road, because this part was constructed before the midsection of the road was constructed. I remember the first time I showed you this part of the road under construction. There was no road here. They were still building these retaining walls. So this is some progress. These warehouses, these warehouse buildings, some of them were not yet completed, hadn't been built yet. But I noticed the government was building bridges to enter those lots. So this is one of the entrances to the warehouse and so on. So it's good to come back now that it's completed and take a look at how far it's gone. Now I don't think I'm going to get all the way to the end. The only reason why I'm out here this morning, and it's actually quite late for me, I usually come out here when I'm running at 5 a.m. when the sun is just beginning to rise. But it has been raining consistently every morning for the last 2 months or so. And so I haven't been able to come out early in the day like I normally do. And so when I come out later in the day, it gets really hot because of the sun, right? We're in the tropics. This is summer. The equinoxes. The sun is directly, well, that's actually not directly overhead, but it's still very hot in the tropics. The sun has passed the equator heading to the north to create summer in the south, in the northern hemisphere. And it gets really hot by 9 a.m., 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. So I usually try to get out of the sun by 8 or 9 a.m. And so if it rains in the morning, it usually ruins my recording schedule, because I record videos when I go for my morning run. Somebody's asking me in the comments of the previous video, why would I go to all this trouble to walk so far to get footage? No, it's the opposite. It's the exact opposite. I run as a daily routine, exercise routine, and I take footage when I'm on my morning run. So the footage you get for this channel is coincidental. Right, it just happens because I happen to be in this neck of the woods on this day. So this is a new warehouse complex that was built since the last time we were here. I was asking in a previous video, why are there so many warehouses in this neck of the woods? The reason is because the oil and gas industry, which has money to spend and which needs warehouses, this is usually the landfill. This is where the landfill is located. Hags Bosch landfill. In fact, that mountain of dirt in the distance, that's actually the landfill. That's all the trash from Georgetown over the last 2 or so decades. So yes, the point is that about these warehouses is because the oil and gas industry has the money to spend. All these companies have come in from abroad. The first thing they do is they build warehouses to pre-position their equipment and their stocks, supplies, and so on. So what has happened over the last 5 years or so is that the oil and gas companies have bought up all of the prime land. So all along Heroes Highway now are warehouses, dozens of warehouses, as we saw in the last video on the subject. And so because there's no planning, the government is not planning how to use these new lands that have become open because of these roads. These roads now provide access to prime lands, and the government has no zoning regulations in this prime land area now open up by the road. All the oil and gas companies are moving in and building warehouses. So whereas we could have had a zone for, say, medical parks or industrial parks for all the mechanic shops, all the mechanical engineers, we could have had a recreational park, sort of like Disney World, where you have all these companies like SeaWorld and Disney and Universal Studios and all these other companies zoned for recreational parks and theme parks. None of that planning is going into Guyana's development. And so what you're getting is haphazard construction where the people with the money, in this case the oil and gas industry, is taking over the majority of the prime land